You were standing in the corner. I saw you as I walked in. You were sad and you were lonely. I knew there was something wrong to you. I watched you all night long. I felt a shiver in my mind. And deep down in my heart, your love was always on my mind. Tonight I'm gonna take you home. Tonight I'm gonna make you mine. Tonight I'm gonna say the words you long to hear. Tonight I'm gonna take you home. Tonight I'm gonna make you mine. Tonight I'm gonna love you more than ever before. There's no beauty I have seen in this whole wide world before. I love the twinkle in your eyes, those warm and tender lips, my babe. You're the answer to my love that I have waited for so long. Together, you and me will live a life full of ecstasy. Tonight I'm gonna take you home. Tonight I'm gonna make you mine. Tonight I'm gonna say the words you long to hear. Tonight I'm gonna take you home. Tonight I'm gonna make you mine. Tonight I'm gonna love you more than ever before.
Hello and welcome to HCN. Today we have with us Glenn Perry, son of Goa legendary musician Chris Perry. So let us know him more. Welcome to the show, sir. Nowadays people listen to more of rock and hip hop. According to you, what is the popularity of jazz in the present time?
Actually, jazz has a very limited audience. It's a niche audience, and it's for jazz lovers. It's not a big audience. I would say it's probably just 5% of the entire musical genre. But it's one of the most sophisticated forms of music. Jazz is very creative. Jazz is an improvised form of music compared to other genres. Jazz has a very limited audience, coming back to the relevant question.
Tell us something about your album Avalanche.
Yeah, I'm releasing the new one. That's my third album coming out. And the previous two albums I did were very straight ahead jazz. Straight ahead jazz is the traditional jazz. But the new album I'm releasing, which should be out in October, it's more modern jazz, it's more grooves. That's what it's about. And I've got one of the greatest drummers of the whole world. His name is Steve Gadd. He's playing with me, among other great jazz musicians from America.
What made you shift from a pop singer to a jazz musician? Can you please elaborate?
See, all through the 80s and 90s, I just played pop. And I was into rock before that in my teenage. But in the early 80s to 90s, I started doing pop music. And I used to live in Hollywood at that time. And I've been doing a lot of recordings of pop. I had a big hit on MTV called Layla. I had that, and I had another hit called Tonight. But Layla was one of the biggest hits, and I did pop for so many years. But throughout the 90s, towards the end, my father had Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
And he was suffering from that for at least 15, 20 years. But towards the end of the 90s, it became very chronic. So I gave up. I left Hollywood and I was looking after him.
Okay.
And he died in 2002. So after he died, I started playing jazz in his memory
Okay.
because he was a jazz musician.
Okay.
That was the main reason I transformed to playing jazz. And I'm still playing jazz in memory of my father. He's such an incredible jazz musician. He was a trumpet player, a saxophonist.
So now you're completely at pop and rock.
So far, yes. Although my fans still rave for me to doing pop and doing rock, but until now I'm playing jazz. But I'm a transcending musician.
Okay.
Obviously, I will transcend at some point. I know myself.
Okay. So like in that album also no fusion of rock and pop. It's completely jazz.
It's completely jazz. It's
Okay.
pure traditional
Okay.
jazz. But the new album has a lot of elements of different styles of jazz.
Okay.
It's more modern jazz. It's groovy.
Okay. So a little bit faster.
Yes.
Because the previous one was a little relaxed and slow type.
The previous ones.
Yeah.
And those are more improvised. It's based more on improvisation.
Okay.
That's another reason that has attracted me to jazz.
Okay.
I mean, I love jazz for its sophistication. It's a very sophisticated form of music. And jazz actually takes you into a different planet. It takes you into beyond the universe because it's so highly improvised. There are no limitations. And the spectrum of jazz is just incredible. That's another thing that has drawn me to jazz. And through jazz, I'm able to express myself because jazz gives you the freedom of expression. It brings out the emotions from the inner part of your soul, as opposed to pop. Pop is very rigid.
Yes.
It's very theoretical, I would say. It's very rigid, and just like classical is it's composed, and composers compose that form of music, and you have to play it the way the composer has played it. As opposed to jazz. Jazz is limitless. It gives every musician the freedom to express themselves. And in jazz, there are no boundaries. There are no boundaries. It's a very creative form of music. It takes a long time for the listener to get adapted to jazz, especially if you don't like jazz or you're not. What I'm trying to do is I do a lot of music appreciation workshops where I introduce jazz to the kids. Because I believe unless you introduce it to the kids, they will never like it. It's like anything. It's like anything, food, anything.
They don't listen to it at all, so they don't
Exactly.
know.
They have to be exposed to a certain form of music. And jazz takes a long time to be attracted to.
What kind of music your father used to compose, and was he an inspiration to you?
Oh, he's my greatest inspiration. All the albums, my first album, jazz album, called Reincarnation, was a dedication to my father. He's my greatest inspiration. He's my mentor. He's my everything. He was a musical genius. His compositions are just out of this world. I mean, for me, he's the greatest musician on this planet. Because I've seen him compose. I've seen him the way he composes. He would just, without even a piano, he would just compose. He had it all in his head.
So you used to think far away.
Yes, I mean, he's a prolific musician. He's God's gift
Okay.
to this universe. Yeah, he's my teacher, my mentor. He's my everything. Without him, I'm nothing.
What your audience like about you the most, and they found it so interesting that they love you so much?
Going through stages in music. I mean, I've done songs that were pop before. I've been doing a lot of pop before, but over the 10 years I'm doing jazz. And what fans really love is they love the improvisations, they love the compositions. I think it's when I get lost into the music, that's what draws them to me more. That's what they love.
You also said that you like diverse music. Can you please tell us like what kind of diverse music that you like?
I mean, presently I'm into jazz, but I like all forms of music. I like pop. I like fusion a lot.
Okay.
I like Indian classical music a lot. The pure form of Indian classical. Yeah, I'm a big fan of pure Indian classical music. All the sitar and tablas, and I've used that a lot into two of my albums. I've done fusion, so I'm basically a transcending musician. My music is an amalgamation of all different genres. But I'm very much attracted to fusion. I like fusion music because fusion is not only about the music, but it fuses cultures. It brings people together. And that's what the world needs today. I mean, the world, if you look around and what's happening to the world today, is nothing but fighting and killing and wars and destruction. And I believe that music will set free this fighting. Because music is a catalyst, and music can break barriers. It transcends everything from time and space. So I believe music is going to set free from what's happening in the world today.
So like you didn't use any Western classic in your album?
Not yet, but I have a project which I am going to use Western classic. I do a lot of Western classical concerts also, and that's what we primarily teach. I run a music school in Dubai, and that's what we primarily teach, Western classical music. Because we are affiliated to the London Trinity College of Music, and they have to do the exams through the London Trinity College, and that's just classical.
While composing, what goes in your mind and how do you prepare it?
I mean, while composing, it's more like meditation. You're just lost. Yeah, you're lost into a completely different world. It's more imaginative. You have to. It's more like being in a trance, and it's very imaginative.
So like you have a theme of an album and accordingly you compose, or just like that, imaginative?
Yeah, it's very imaginative. I don't think, because if I thought about it, it would be too rigid.
Yes.
And me, ever since a kid, I'm known to break rules. I'm known to break rules. I cannot follow book structures.
Okay. So there is no theme, just a flow of imagination.
Exactly.
Tell us something about your music school in Dubai. Like, what instruments do you teach over there, and have the students given a good response to your school?
Because I started this music school in Dubai in 1980, so it's the very first music school over there. And we teach everything: drums, guitar, keyboards, piano, violin, singing. And the response was tremendous. We have a waiting list of more than 300 students just on waiting list. It takes about 6 months to 1 year to get an admission.
So after that there are grades, like from first grade to second grade?
Yeah, we get 8 grades. 8 grades is like graduating. There are 8 levels, 8 grades.
Right. So like boys and girls both are taught together?
Yes. So we have kids from 5 to adults who are 67. A lot of adults study too.
Fine. So there are like many classes?
Yes, a lot of different classes, a lot of different levels mainly.
Yes, okay. And like a practical exam and theory exam.
We do both,
Okay.
practical and theory.
Okay, and they have to answer with London University.
The London Trinity College,
Okay.
that's what we do.
Okay, so you have a very good response.
Massive response. I mean, besides that, I do a lot of workshops for the kids and seminars and demonstrations, and I also do a lot of student concerts where I promote talent. That's one of the things I plan to do in Goa, to
Okay.
come back and promote talent,
Okay.
because Goa has such a big, massive talent out
Yes,
here
yes,
that's going wasted.
Yes.
I think more because there are no opportunities.
Mm.
And I was told it's not only about opportunities but financial difficulties
Yes.
and the cost of recording.
Yeah. And they find that there's no career also in music.
That's another thing,
Yeah, like
yes.
here there's no career in music.
That's another aspect.
Yes.
But I plan to come and support the upcoming talent.
Okay.
Plan to come and do some workshops and
Okay.
seminars and
Mm.
educate the kids and hopefully get them to do recordings,
Okay.
because the talent is immense in Goa.
Yes, yes.
I think every other house they either play music or sing.
You have been very active in donating for charity. Can you please tell us more about it?
I've been always throughout my career donating funds to different organizations, but after my father died and I personally have been going to disasters myself.
Yes,
I've worked in some of the biggest disasters, like the tsunami in Indonesia. I've been to Japan, the tsunami, been to Somalia. What I want to do is I want to give back to the society what I've received. We and me, we've taken so much from this world,
Yes.
and giving back is the most wonderful feeling.
Yes. The
Yeah.
people feel grateful because you are doing so much for them.
Exactly. Charity is part of my life.
Yeah.
I love to help the underprivileged. Just putting a smile on their faces makes me so happy. Yeah, and actually, out of interest, I'm doing a concert on the 18th
Okay.
at the ESG Auditorium, the jazz concert.
Okay.
Out of interest, this is the first time I'm going to be playing the guitar
Okay.
after 2 years.
Okay.
Because do you remember there was a big earthquake in Haiti?
Yes.
I had gone there to help them. While I was helping them, a whole building fell on me. I was under the building.
Yeah, and I was very
My hand was totally paralyzed. My leg was completely fractured, bruised up.
Yes.
They actually pulled me out of the debris like that.
Okay.
And for 2 years, my hand was completely paralyzed. It didn't move.
Yes.
So thank God it's
Alright.
better now. It's not completely all right, but it's better.
Okay,
So this is the first time I'm playing guitar in 2 years.
So you find it very hard then to quit?
Yeah, it's difficult, but I can.
You can.
Yes. It's been 2 years, very painful.
And there's a project also you said in Kenya, eh?
Yes, it's in Kibera.
Yeah.
Kibera is one of the world's largest slums.
Yes,
And I work in the slums with the orphans
Okay.
and the poor people. I've actually built a school, a music center for the kids in Kibera. And I've also go around the world building music centers for kids.
For how many years did you learn jazz music?
Jazz has come to me naturally because I've been listening to jazz since I was a kid.
So from small only?
My father was a jazz musician, that's all he played. So all the records he played at home were jazz. So I've been listening to jazz as I was growing up.
Okay.
And it's been instilled in my body.
Okay.
Although I've played pop and rock, but
Yeah.
I knew at some point I would play jazz.
Okay.
But after my father died, then I took up to jazz seriously, just playing jazz in his memory.
What's the magical formula behind your success?
It's hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. That's the only formula. You have to be true to yourself, you have to be true to your fans, you have to be honest and sincere. That's the magic formula.
So day and night hard work.
It's hard work, it pays off.
Yes.
There is no other way.
And your friends and all support them.
Yes, I have a lot of support from my fans and family, yes.
So which encourages you to go ahead and
Yeah, I think we all need encouragement, we need motivation, we need to be surrounded by positive people. That is what elevates us. Being around negativity just steps us down. So I'm fortunate to be surrounded by very good people.
So you never experienced any failure? Did you experience any failure that?
I did actually. I don't know if I should call it failure, but when I had my song Layla out on MTV, I recorded the album and I was going around trying to get a record deal, but many record companies shut their door on me. But I didn't give up until I finally got signed on. So there are failures, but failures are good.
Yes.
Because failures helps you to move forward. You should take it in a positive way. If you take it in a negative way, it can just throw you down. But if you take failures in a positive way, it can actually elevate you to the sky. And that's what I tell my students. You take failures in a positive way, you create that in a positive way, and that's the key to success.
So you visit your schools a lot?
I do, because one of my missions, other missions in life besides charity, is to share my talent with the students. It's my mission. So that's what I do. I visit the school and share my talent with the kids.
Which song, according to you, was the best composition?
Although Layla became a big hit for me, but the song Tonight was one of my favorite compositions. I don't know if you heard that, but that was also on MTV.
I heard this one, I'll Keep Loving You.
That was another, yes. That was another nice one. But Layla became a very big hit. That became one, because every concert I go, they scream Layla. And that's what I want to inform my fans, that at this concert I'm going to be playing strictly jazz. So I don't want them to come and be disappointed.
And force you to get
It's going to be jazz concert. But we'll see.
What do you miss about Goa?
Yeah, I miss the beauty of Goa. I miss the serenity, the tranquility. It's so beautiful and wonderful, and I miss all that. The freshness, the earth is so pure, and I miss that morning dew, the mist, and the smell of that smoke that goes up the air. There's so much I miss about Goa. I'm so happy to be here. It's so soul gratifying. And getting off the plane, it's like, wow, this is my land.
So what plans are there for your trip? Is it only work or work and holiday?
No, it's not holiday. It's definitely not holiday. It's work basically for the concert. But it's also for another very special reason. I'll be visiting the orphanages, I'll be visiting old age homes, some disabled, a lot of orphanages that I've chalked out. That's on my biggest priority list.
What would you like to eat in Goa during this holiday, since you have missed so much Goan food?
Yes, I'm vegetarian. I'm vegetarian, so it makes it difficult to eat pure Goan food. But no, I love Goan food, obviously. That's what my mother cooked. That's what she grew me on.
Yeah. But India, you will get like good vegetarian food.
Oh yes,
Yeah. Lovely food.
you get very nice vegetarian
Yeah.
food.
But why only veg, sir?
Actually, I'm an animal lover. I used to
Okay.
have five dogs, four cats,
Okay.
lots of birds. One day, someone poisoned my dog. Then I put my dog in the hospital for
Okay.
2 weeks.
Okay.
And after 2 weeks, she died.
Okay.
So from that day, I stopped eating meat.
Okay.
So it's been over 35 years. I stopped
Okay.
eating meat completely. I
Okay.
turned vegetarian.
Okay. Must be very difficult, no?
No,
No?
no, I don't miss meat.
Okay.
I love vegetarian.
Your siblings are also musicians, so your entire family plays music. Can you tell us something more about this?
Oh yeah, it's hereditary. It's come from my father. My father was a musician, a genius.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
the genes have not
Yeah.
transgressed into all four.
And so each of you all play different instruments.
Yeah, my brother Giles, he plays the drums.
Yes, yes.
He graduated in the California Music
Yes,
Institute in
yes.
Hollywood. My other brother, who plays the bass guitar,
Yes,
he graduated in California too. And my youngest brother, unfortunately, he died in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very depressing because my father died in 2002, and then my mother went into depression. She
Okay.
died in 2009, and
Okay.
2010 my brother died.
Okay.
It's been very devastating,
Okay.
and I was very heart-wrenched, but music pulled me through. Music pulled me and got me out of this
Okay.
devastation.
And you all can, one of the, all of you all can perform for a concert and all.
Yeah, they're coming to perform with me.
Here?
Yes,
Okay.
they're arriving after a few days.
Okay.
Two of my brothers.
And
And I have a saxophonist coming from Holland.
okay. Okay.
So we'll be four of us performing
So,
this
yeah,
concert,
it will be
a big
great
band.
concert, Yeah. Okay, it'll be great.
It's going to be a great jazz concert, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Any message for an upcoming music artist in Goa?
Yes. I want to tell them that first thing is dreams live.
Yes.
If you have a dream, you follow that dream. You don't give up. And you work hard, because hard work pays. In all my life, I've found many substitutes, but I've never found a substitute for hard work.
Okay.
And if you have a dream, you follow that dream. And someday you'll be up there. Because I know when I started out, I was just nothing. Just a very simple, regular musician playing clubs and the hotels. But I worked very hard.
Yeah.
So I want to tell them, work hard.
Must be very tense that time, no? Will I have any future in music or something?
No. I knew as a kid, I told myself, even if I have to sleep on the streets, I'll play music.
Okay, yeah. So very
I
confident.
decided.
Yeah.
Because music is something I love.
Do you have any future plans in Goa, like opening any music school or anything else somewhere else which is very close to your heart?
It's been on my mind for quite a long time, but it's because of the logistics and because of my travels, I haven't been able to open a school.
Okay.
But I'm planning to come and do music workshops.
Okay.
I'm planning to come and do music workshops,
Okay.
singing workshops. At least that's a step towards
Okay.
teaching.
Yeah.
And that will happen in the near future.
So start somewhere or the other.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any future plans of opening another school anywhere else? Like anywhere else, any part of the world?
Yes. I have plans to open more schools in the Gulf areas and in the West, yes. I have plans to open more schools.
So thank you very much for spending your precious time. Thank you once again.
It's my pleasure. You're most welcome. It's really a pleasure.
Tonight I'm gonna love you more than ever before. Tonight I'm gonna take you home. Tonight I'm gonna make you mine. Tonight I'm gonna say the words you love.